And actually, I'd say perhaps that's the most memorable difference between the two games, was that Ed's clearing was a bit more on point in the second. But I think there's a tendency to remember big clearances and, you know, forget about the small position shots that are just as important, really.
Well, I mean, being able to consistently take position is, it's...
Yeah. If you
it's
fail to take...
It's not spectacular, but it really puts the pressure on your opponent.
Yeah, and absolutely. And if you fail to take position, you normally end up having to do about 3 or 4 big clearances to get back into position again.
Yeah. I think those, you know, lagging at hoop, consistently lagging, you know, 1 or 2 yards further back at hoops, they start to add up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But it's an interesting dynamic, really, because both Wendy and Dallas, they're much more gentle hitters of the ball than their partners, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely, without doubt.
And potentially, with the order of play being fixed between different doubles games, sorry, the different games of the same best of 3, I should say, potentially Australia losing toss is doing really good mileage for them now, because I think they have got on balance the better play order, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree, definitely. I think especially when you've got a big hitter on both sides and someone who isn't a big hitter, I think that order is really important. And you can get to positions where you want to decline shots at hoops because of it, especially when you're looking at 12 and 13.
Yeah. And did we see too many hoops being declined this game?
That didn't strike me as a feature of the game.
No.
Particularly. So I think we're now having a quick look at the game on lawn 3, while the players on lawn 2 are taking a little bit of a break before they start their deciding game. So we've just played down to hoop 6, and I'm struggling to see the clips again.
Right, let me see.
So I can definitely see 2 blue clips and a red clip.
I think I can see 3 blue clips and 2 red clips.
Okay, so we think the score is 3-2 to the Kiwis.
The Kiwis.
Because, as we discovered a few minutes ago, Australia have been red and yellow in each of these doubles games.
Yep, fixed.
Just to remind everyone, the Australians won the first game here. It was very tight there. They went to 7-6.
But it seems like the Kiwis have got a slight edge here. Yeah. And
you think this is going off to hoop 7?
I think so. I mean,
black looks quite close.
Oh no, it's hung around, right? Blues.
He doesn't look very happy with that, though.
Maybe I was trying for one of these. Oh.
Oh.
So, was that a scuff? So this could be lawn damage. He'll be kicking himself for that.
It's probably not actually that bad, though, given where the balls are.
The problem is the way the rules are written, or at least the way the rules are written last time I read them.
You read the rules?
Well,
this does surprise me.
Last time I was stupid enough to ask the ref about the rules. It is a bit subjective what counts as lawn damage. So essentially, lawn damage, if it's done by the mallet in golf croquet, is a fault. And it doesn't matter whether the shot is likely to cause lawn damage or not. And this is a rule that's a little, in my mind, it's a little bit out of place in croquet. I don't really buy into the use or utility of this rule. And the big problem about it is that what some people call lawn damage, other people just say it's nothing. Anyway, I'll cut myself short on that because on the near lawn, Australia are, well, New Zealand, sorry, are restarting in the final and third game. So let's go back onto the closer lawn, please, and it's 0-0 or love all. Is it love all in croquet? Do people say nil? Is it 1-0 or it's 7-0, isn't it? You 7-0.
The deciding game. And they've started with blue.
So blue is already in front of hoop 1, as we can see, and that's a pretty nice position. Yeah, you've got to do something about that, right?
Yeah. Question is, they're going to be taking 1 shot or 2.
Oh, this is a one-shot job, I think.
Yeah, especially with Ed playing yellow. I think that's probably what they'll choose to go for.
If Ed can keep his, shooting prowess up from last game.
She's just gone for a nice position. Oh, is that going past?
It's gone past.
Oh yeah. I've had some trouble approaching. There was a bit of trouble approaching hoop 1 in the last game as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. So there seems to be a trick with this hoop, as I was saying at the start of the last game. There's a little bit of a crest in the middle of the lawn, and you've got to be careful that you get to the other side of that crest, but once you're there, you've got to be careful that you don't just roll off. And it looks like black's fallen into the same little trap.
Yeah, red and black very close there.
But again, it could be interesting actually, because black's now blocking red's approach to 2.
You think? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yellow at blue. Good enough.
Well, yeah, good enough. George will just be putting this back into position. And really all he's got to worry about here is that when red clears him, red can't hang around in front of the hoop. And I think that's good enough, don't you?
Yeah, that's good enough. Red's not going to be in a hoop running position after it's cleared blue.
Yeah. But that's, Ed's done his job. They're back into the hoop. And to be honest, even if red was slap bang in front of the hoop, blue would have cleared it, right?
Yeah.
So this isn't too bad a position for the Aussies. This,
Oh, I think that's quite greedy.
That's greedy. What?
So I think Ed's just trying. Well, I mean, you've got to get a really fine angle on this, right?
You've got.
So I think
basically got to get one specific part of
so
that
we
ball.
think Ed's fancying playing yellow on blue, and is hoping that Wendy can play a great shot to clear black and leave red in front, which I think was really difficult from where the balls were.
It's really difficult, and even if she gets it, black hits red. You know, you're doing this. You're doing this very difficult cut, whatever.
Yeah,
risking like exactly what's happening.
I think just red clear and blue is fine.
Yeah, and
because I think it was too easy for black to get the block.
Yeah.
Yellow on blue there. Well, I mean, which is what it's going to try from here. And I'd say I much prefer the angle on this one. This is much nicer.
But also,
angle
say
to try and get that block on.
red just tried a very difficult shot, right?
Yeah.
And say he gets say when he gets it, the counter is black does a 7-yard clearance.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's
that looks good, that clearance. I like that. Ooh,
Oh,
and the wind direction has changed.
So we've just
nicely into the cameras.
We've just been hit with a wall of rain, which we didn't know was there. So
yeah, this is the clearance, and they've got a black as we expected. Okay, so
I suppose the question is, would black have got that block anyway? But no, of course, because if red had...
I think so. Black was in a really good position where it was.
Yeah.
For getting that block.
But
it was almost on a perfect line.
So I think you were absolutely right. Red had to clear blue there with the previous shot. And that previous shot was a bit too ambitious.
That looks good.
And New Zealand
but
have
off
taken
the boundary.
Yeah. And now New Zealand are 1-0 up.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to take position. So New Zealand are 1-0 up. And Wendy's taken straight position at hoop 2, probably a little bit further away than she would have liked, but blue is on the far boundary. So he's got a quite long clearance on red if he wants to move it. So Dallas to play back.
And actually, all the balls are approaching hoop 2 from miles away here.
Yeah, they are. I think we might see some balls quite a long way from hoop 2 here. Yeah, that looks like it's gone out of hoop running position. And might even be blocking blue on red.
Was blue clearing red though?
Well, I don't think so, but not sure he's got the option now. Oh, that's good. Yellow's in hoop running position, a little bit angled, but it's still in front.
And that's actually taken the pressure off the Aussies quite a lot. That misplaced black.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a hoop shot with red. Don't think blue is blocking black on yellow there.
Thank you to Tim for his, we'll call it a joke. If any of you have any other thoughts or suggestions, let us know.
Oh, so okay. So when do you play the clearance? Not the hoop shot. Okay, so everyone to play back.
Yeah, the hoop starting again.
I think yellow might quite have a good line for getting wide on blue here.
Yeah, blue's not in a great spot, is he?
Oh no, so I think he's just cleaning the ball. Looks like it's picked up some muck on the way across.
But yeah, between the hoop and the red, there's a lot for yellow to hide behind here. And that looks hopeful.
It does. That looks
Has it
quite
just-
nice.
I think it's just come out the other side, but
It
that's still
does.
half ball, right?
It is, and it's nicely blocking black's hoop shot as well. And blue has missed the shot on yellow. So
Looks like the Australian hoop round, right?
it does. Definitely looking like favourite. So what do you reckon? Red to blocking position, a couple of yards back.
So like I said a couple of games ago, red's just got to stay out the way now.
Yeah.
Block black's shot, sure.
Yeah.
Stay out the way.
Yeah.
And she's done exactly that. That's a nice
Yeah,
shot.
that's a nice shot.
It's quite easy under situations like this to think the hoops run and just play not a bad shot, but just a lazy shot and sort of forget about the block.
A careless shot.
Yeah. Only for Dallas to clear, and then all of a sudden the hoop's alive again. And actually, the way Dallas had hit that, she would have nailed yellow.
Yeah, that would have been a good clearance, but red was in the way.
Yeah.
So, Ed's are another hoop.
Wendy just mentioning something to Ed just before that shot.
I wonder what that was.
So
Do you think the angle on black's important here?
It
for
doesn't
getting
change
for him?
anything though.
Well, so presumably she said run it off the lawn, because that's what he's done. But
I don't
I
think there was any need to tell him that.
I think black might have quite a good line for blocking blue, but blue's short, so it's irrelevant.
Well, I think it's probably a better line if he ran to the boundary row, right? Maybe Wendy was saying, don't run to the boundary, and Ed's like, no, I'm just going to, I don't want to mess up the hoop shot.
That looks nice. Maybe a little bit close to blue, but that's nice.
You say it's close to blue. Blue can clear at the grand total of about 3 or 4 yards and wastes his shot in the meantime. Like, I think it's going to be what he ends up doing.
That's nice too.
But yeah, I think red's exactly where you want it. If
Wow,
red
you-
hugs the
you
boundary
risked.
there,
Yeah, no, you can't afford to do that because blue just plays to really tight position, trying to block
Exactly.
something.
and actually, if yellow weren't short there,
Yellow's short as well. They've been, yeah. He definitely took a bit of angle on that. I think it looked like he was trying to get red wide behind black.
you reckon, or corner?
Corner's quite a big cut from there.
Yeah,
That looks like the spot for getting it wide.
it's nice.
And he was only a couple of yards away. I think it's more likely that's what he was playing for.
Okay.
Given where it's ended up, I mean, that looks like it's perfectly wide.
Okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, yeah. So now Wendy just wants to nudge this black past the hoop. Priority here is that black doesn't run the hoop next shot. Second priority is that red's hanging around. Oh.
Oh, it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but at least red sort of disappeared up the lawn.
Okay, so. Oh, yeah, sorry, it was 1-1, and then this is Dallas to run
Well,
this.
it's still 1-1.
Yeah.
Oh, Dallas. And do you think that's what we were saying earlier about, she was probably expecting to be taking position in that shot rather than a hoop shot? Do you reckon maybe she's still in position mode, or do you reckon maybe she's just a bit nervous about the hoops, or?
This is a hoop shot.
Oh, I'd be going for this, to be fair. Oh.
And he's off the side boundary.
So,
See, I've got no problem with going for that, but I don't think you go for it hard.
yeah, so one thing we've learnt about these Atkins hoops is that they really don't like to be bullied. And they'll bully you back just as hard if you try. You just try to trickle them through. It sucks when they
From
roll
that
through
sort,
by
that
like
sort of angle, yeah.
But actually, jaws there would have been very strong indeed. Like, okay, it's nice to run the hoop with red onside up there, but running from the jaws is just as good.
A ball in the jaws of hoop 3 with no one in jumping position is a pretty strong position
Yeah,
to be in.
you take that every day of the week, right?
Oh, and look, there's that hill again.
But again, does it matter? I think what decides this hoop is, does yellow hit blue?
You say that. The Kiwis are going to have 2 balls in front in really tight position, and red's quite deep. How many hoops have we seen run from 6 yards?
Have we seen one, actually? I really don't know.
Don't think we've had. Well, I haven't.
We saw... Have we seen any really attempted? So...
Yeah, we did. We've seen a few attempted. So
George took on a speculative jump shot, right? But
yeah,
that was
we've also had
hope rather than expectation.
we had a few ones where it's going to be the last hoop shot that they're going to get a hoop that have been taken on. So we had hoop 5, I think, in game 1.
And I think hoop 11 last game.
Yeah.
And that hoop's turned around pretty quickly a couple of times in about as many shots, right?
And he's checking the hoops. I think they might be thinking the hoops are getting a little bit loose. Checking that.
Well, to be fair, Ed clattered into that hoop the last shot.
Yep, and that looks like it's run through nicely, but to the boundary again.
So now New Zealand have taken a 2-1 lead.
But they've not put that ball on the boundary again. Is he going to come down and put it on?
Yeah, I think.
Yes,
I think Wendy
it looks
gestured.
like Wendy's waiting for him to put it on, which is good.
So let's. So where is blue exactly? It's.
It looks like it's a little bit to the side. I think Wendy's got quite a lot of lawn to put a ball into.
She does, yeah.
To get it wide. What's that looking like? That looks like it's good.
It just needs to slow down.
Oh no, it's just gone a little bit too far, and it's
jaws, right?
Yeah, jaws.
Jaws if you're
but
lucky.
not runnable.
It's jaws if you absolutely have to.
A little bit too far, I think. But
And it's opened up to blue as well.
but she is the right side, so she's.
She is, but I don't think it changes Dallas's shot. I think pretty much as soon as blue can see red, Dallas just puts a ball in and says to George,
"You're clearing
clear,
red."
please." Because if
that definitely seems to be the approach they've been taking.
but I think it's the right one. And Ed's hung back a little bit here. That's taken the pressure off George's shot a little bit.
No, I think you want to be closer than that, don't you? Because I mean, you're right. You know he's taking this shot, and you know Wendy's got to hit the return clearance.
Yeah, but also,
that's not the side you would have wanted, I don't think.
Yeah. But also, if George misses that clearance, is Wendy going for the hoop? No,
she's always clearing black, and then yellow runs.
Yeah.
And she's then just got the choice about whether she tries to do something fancy with her clearance or if she just takes it centre ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, so this looks like it. So this will be Wendy going for that clearance. But she's on the short boundary, so this is only 7 yards.
But that's exactly what she
wants.
wanted.
A nice clearance. That's lovely.
That's...
You wouldn't want that back.
Yeah. Those are the shots that are just as valuable as the 20-yard clearances.
I wish I did that every time.
And now Dallas has got a very difficult decision.
Well, yeah,
if yellow were dead in front, it's just I'll clear yellow. But there's no point clearing yellow here, really.
No, you've just got to put it in front, and you've got to resign yourself that you get to the fact that you're going to have to hit a 7-yard clearance next time you walk on the lawn.
I think you're right. You want to put black in front, but somewhere where red can only get rid of you 7 yards.
Yeah. So you want this reasonably close to the hoop, but not really tight.
But I think you also want to be in a position where red is forced to do something about you. I think a lot of players might say, "Oh, I'm going to be cleared, so rather than be cleared, I'll go the other side of the hoop."
I think given that the red and yellow are in a commanding position here, they've got 2 balls near the hoop and you're miles away. If you can give yourself a 7-yard clearance to get you back in this hoop, and the possibility of winning it, that's a result. Yeah,
absolutely. But what I mean is, as black, you might be tempted to go the far side of the hoop. But I think that gives I think that gives yellow and red too much freedom to not clear and instead go for stuff like blocks and yellow take closer position. With black a foot in front, I think yellow's kind of committed to go for the hoop, and then red clears. Yeah, and that's exactly where she should be, I think.
That's a nice position. It looks like yellow's taking on the clearance.
No, yellow's taking position. This is the wrong... Well, that's... I don't like that. I really don't like that. Blue comes in now. Okay, red hits black. You're giving black a 7-yarder. And Dallas has been hitting...
Dallas has been hitting well and
shifting balls,
she's
right?
been shifting them, and she's been shifting them far enough as well.
And actually, it's a pet peeve of mine when playing doubles. When you ask someone... Well,
pet peeve number 1 from Will, doubles partners.
Top tip. If you take position at a hoop in doubles, you're sort of... You should really be expected to run it from where you put it. Anyway, personal thought. Mind you, I think George could have
Blue
been a
was
bit-
very short.
Yeah, I really think Blue had, given that Blue's only possible shot at this hoop really is going to be running it next shot, I think he wanted to be a lot closer than that. Maybe it's just under hit, maybe that's, I don't know.
Okay, so this is Dallas clearing yellow at hoop 4. Kiwis are 2-1 up in the deciding game in this match. Doesn't look like we have any results from any of the other games for game 2 yet. So in the other 2 games we had 2 Aussie wins and 1 Kiwi win for the other first round games. So, Ed to run this. Yep, straight through.
So in answer to Ian from the UK, yeah, you're right. And it's well spotted actually. The red hoop is in fact at hoop 3, whereas traditionally, especially in association, it will be at hoop 5. The relevance of the red hoop is that it's normally the last hoop to run. So the blue topped hoop is number 1, and the red topped hoop is last one. And in an association, hoop 5, also rover when it's run backwards, is the last hoop. Normally for GC tournaments, especially in the UK, I have to say, you just leave that layout as is. Occasionally, though, because hoop 13 is normally the last possible hoop to run, sometimes it's shifted to hoop 3. But I think it's kind of a bit less relevant in GC, because the game doesn't always end at hoop 13. But yeah, that's a good spot. So the red hoop is in fact hoop 3, and it's because hoop 13 is often the last hoop. I don't think it's written into rules, is it? I've got no idea.
I'm not the person to ask about
yeah,
rules.
I'm not going to take a hazard a guess on that.
So if anyone is a referee and does know, then please email Will and he will let everyone know.
Is it against the rules? Do you have to have a blue and red hoop? Anyway, you didn't tune in to hear that stuff. You tuned in to hear about this game and to watch the game probably. You're probably muted me by now. So hoop 5, Aussies have worked their way in, right?
They have. They just hit the clearance. So Dallas has gone all the way to the far boundary. And there are no balls in hoop running position. That looks nice. I think red will be clear in blue.
Yeah, but it's a bit awkward, isn't it? If red hangs around, great, but then it's cleared by black, and if red doesn't hang around, it's all a bit awkward, isn't it? With black there.
You reckon black's probably draws the ball, right?
Yeah, but what I mean is if you centre ball blue, which would be the normal default option, black centre ball's red.
I think you want to be a little bit on the left.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you know you're going to be playing a position shot when black's probably going to be in tight position. Yeah, that's good. That's nice.
I think that's good. I think that's actually best case scenario. Red.
Yeah, I think you should be happy with that. So black's in tight position now.
Yeah, would you go for speculative jaws? You get the jaws, you're well up.
I don't know. I've had some bad rejections going for jaws on these hoops, so maybe not.
Unless you glue to the wire, is it?
Yeah, gluing to the wire is a bad result there, isn't it?
Yeah, but going slap bang in front's not great if you're banking red to clear. Yeah, that's
It's
okay, I
wide
think.
from yellow, but red's, well, how far did blue go? What's blue got on red?
Pretty normal looking clearance actually from 4 to 5.
Oh, it looks like yellow's blocked red clearance on black there.
That's careless. That's the one place on lawn he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, so blue just plays in and needs to not hit anything.
Well, that's lagged quite short.
So the question is, does red have a hoop shot? She looks like she's lining up for something.
I think black is blocked.
I think this is a hoop shot then.
Doesn't seem to be a jump. Oh, shot.
Great shot.
Great shot.
Forced
My
her
God,
into a
that's-
corner. That's the best hoop we've seen
Yeah.
here.
I think Black would have been happy ending up there after the after running the hoop. That's a
Yeah.
cracking shot.
That's a great shot, yep. And then
And that's another one of these weird things about golf croquet. Like, had yellow not been there, i.e. if red had a choice between black and the hoop, and then chose, you know what, I'm going to run the hoop, she wouldn't have played as good a shot. But the fact that she only had one choice available, don't you think?
yeah, she was forced into it. Give your opponent lots of choices. They're more likely to make
Well,
the wrong choice and B an error when they
It wasn't the Kiwi's fault. It was Ed. Ed made
I
her
know.
mind up for her.
Yeah. Forcing
It's
her into
a
a corner. It's a nice doubles.
advanced-
It's a nice
advanced
doubles partner trick. Yeah.
Yeah, the Aussies have been working on a. No, it's brilliant recovery, and now it's 3-2 to New Zealand. Sorry, to Australia.
That looked like it held off as well.
Yeah.
And it looks like the only ball that's got a hoop shot is red here.
No, Blue's got an okay shot. It's just quite deep.
Blue's just played though. So, is Wendy going to run 6 from where she ran 5 to?
It's looking that way, isn't it? Oh dear.
Oh, she's missed the hoop completely. So she's quite a long way behind it now. What do you reckon? Black to position wide from red would be my choice, I think. Not sure how angled that is.
So thanks to Ian for clarifying the rules about colouring of the hoops. Basically, they can be unpainted or painted red and blue. And normally it's the first and last.
Thank you for that, Ian.
So in the meantime, I think Black took on a shot at 6, right?
Yeah, black took on it, but gently.
Yeah. I think that was the right decision, though.
And then yellow to clear blue.
That's too much power, but he's struck that nicely.
He struck it nicely, but yeah. I imagine blue's probably off our boundary.
But if you hit that hard, you have to be pretty confident about centering it, right?
Yellow's just this side of the peg. It's just got a little bit past the peg. You can't quite see it on the live streaming shot. And yes, blue's been dispatched all the way to the corner. So blue playing back into position.
That's a nice shot.
That's nice.
That's
Looks
a
like
very
it's
nice shot.
wide from red.
I don't know how important it is that it's wide. I think perhaps
So I think
blocking yellow's hoop shot might be
would have probably been
slightly
better.
nicer.
Yeah, so I think Ed's pointing to the spot behind blue, so that black can't clear red. I think will be what they're aiming for. That
That's
looks
very
a little bit far, but it's still in nice hoop running position.
And I think blue will play on Dallas's mind enough there.
So it looks like So it looks like Dallas is just going to put another ball in front as well. Which is
suddenly quite
interesting.
tight.
Yeah,
This is that's
Okay.
blocking red's hoop shot, right?
So this looks like blue's going to try and clear red. You think?
Well, yellow's got to play first, right?
Yeah,
I think it's all
yellow's
just
playing
safety. So guarding against blue being cleared. That's a nice clearance. Sorry, position by Dallas.
It is, yeah. And now blue's clearing to a long way from hoop
Is he?
7.
Is he clearing?
You think he's just putting a ball in?
It's a long jump.
Well, 3 yards. It's probably 3 yards. Yeah, okay, ball in.
I think ball in here.
I think I want to clear. Dallas will definitely be telling him to put a ball in, I think.
This
Yeah.
is a ball in situation. I can't believe you're arguing for the clearance and I'm arguing for ball in.
It looks a little bit nearer on the TV screen on the commentary than it actually does on the lawn.
So we're in a bit of a strange and unusual setup in so much as even though we're here too, we've got almost the same view as you because it's really cold when you go out to look out onto the lawn directly. So we're sort of shivering away behind a screen. Occasionally we peek over barricades, but for the most part we've got the same view as you. And now the thing is, right?
So he did take on the clearance.
And now this is just a clearance. Oh, Wendy.
Okay.
That's
So Dallas
So,
to run this to go 3-all.
Oh dear, she'll be disappointed with that. It's a tricky shot. And if you catch it wrong, it's always going to hit the hoop and bounce back, something like that.
So she needs to make sure that she's not run that far enough. So if yellow gets really nice position here, blue's on the opposite side of the lawn, red has the option
Of blocking.
of playing the block or playing the clearance.
That does look like nice position, but I don't know how easy it is for red to get this block in, do you?
No, so I think, Dallas has been shooting quite well. I would be looking at that clearance.
So George has taken that clearance on, and it's missed by a couple of feet. But maybe he just thought, to be honest, at this range, because he was shooting from almost corner 4.
People have been struggling to approach this hoop, particularly from far away in the previous games. I think, especially if you thought they were going to play this clearance.
Clearance?
Yeah, this clearance.
Not block?
No, I think clearance here is fine. Dallas has been hitting her. Dallas has generally been shooting quite well.
Yeah, that's why I say block, not clear. When did I become so wussy about clearing?
That clearance isn't very long. That clearance is 3 yards, 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, it is. You're right, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Will's not been playing croquet for a while.
Probably just as well, by sounds of the thing.
Yeah, so Dallas has now got a cross-court clearance on yellow.
You're right. The block was probably not the right shot.
She's watching it.
Oh, that's
Great
a brilliant
shot.
shot. That's centre ball.
Okay, so
And actually, it was
deep
a right,
position.
it was a right shot by the Aussies to go for it, but now red's the ball that's out of position. I suppose yellow's the first to play in, but
Yeah, I like yellow there. Yellow's nice there.
yeah. Blue tight, surely.
Blue tight, yeah. Black can't clear yellow very far if it chooses to clear it, so yeah, that's why she's telling him to put it. A little bit short, I
That's
think. There.
short.
I wonder if it runs off a little bit in that corner because the
Perhaps.
approaches from the other side have rolled on a bit, but it's a little bit short. So Wendy playing back into position now with red. That looks nice.
That looks very nice, and I
Is
think
that
she's
blocked?
I think she's avoided the block.
It looks like she's quite close to the line, but not quite on it.
Yeah, Dallas is standing there. Maybe it's not 100% clear cut.
Oh, but yellow's not taking on that hoop. Yellow's dispatching blue.
Yeah, absolutely, actually.
So the block I was referring to was whether or not she'd got the wire behind blue on black, but I don't think she has quite.
No, I think it's snuck out the other end.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, but I think you still. Well, I think they should probably still move red, right?
What do you reckon to the snuggle? It's been something that I'm becoming more and more of a fan of. You snuggle black onto yellow, the opponent's just like, what's just happened to me? You run hoop 7. Maybe Kenley and the Trans-Tasman's not the place to try that out, though.
So I think in general I like it as a theory, particularly at the corner hoops, because you can't clear them anywhere. You clear them a couple of yards to the boundary, and you can do, even if you don't actually get it in exactly the spot that you want, particularly if you go behind the ball, there's quite a large area where you can hamper the shot or screw up their footing, and sometimes that's good enough.
So that's a good clearance, but it's made Ed's mind up for him, right?
Yeah.
This is a hoop shot.
This is a hoop shot. And to be honest, Blue's not got a particularly nice hoop shot if he doesn't get this.
Exactly.
He ran a really nice
He'll be
hoop.
going hard, though. So if he does clang it, Blue might just lag in position.
Yeah. There's a bit lucky he hit black, although
Is he?
that's not a great spot for. No,
Yeah.
that's
We were
horrible.
talking about
isn't
clearances earlier.
it? Yeah. You taking that one to corner 4, Will?
Block.
This looks like he's going for a hoop shot.
3-all. Get the lead when it's available. It's fair enough.
Yeah, nice hoop shot.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah, so that's gone a bit past peg. So that's a 4-3 to the Kiwis.
And actually, Blue rather than going off a boundary, has sort of hung around in front.
Yes,
and that's
and
going to cause Australia some big headaches, I
I
think.
think this needs to go tight, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like it's getting there.
Ooh.
It swerved a bit at the end. That's a bit angled, really. Maybe
Yeah.
jaws. Maybe
Yeah,
jaws.
you've got to play a good shot to get that in the jaws, I think.
I mean, again, it boils down a little bit to what Dallas does here. Because if Dallas gets a good position, I think red was going to be cleared whether it's in position or not.
Yeah. See where blue comes up. Well, it's in nice position. Is it blocking blue on the hoop?
I think it might be, you know.
Well, that's another way to
But
make your mind up.
Again, I think blue was always clearing red, really. Oh, this is a hoop. This is a shot. Oh, hoop shot.
That's not the shot I would have gone for.
Maybe it was a double.
Probably.
I think hitting black's okay there.
Yeah, I think no, hitting black is good there, I think, but
I think it's. I mean, I think it's okay.
But I mean, you've got to. I think you still got to convince me that it's better than putting yellow in position.
That's true. I suppose.
Because that's the alternative line, isn't it?
I suppose he thought George is clearing red. There's no doubt in his mind that he's clearing red. And then, if yellow's in position, then he's banking on Wendy clearing black far enough away that black doesn't turn around and hit yellow. It's probably a safer line of play, but you know, sometimes you walk up to a ball and you think, my God, that looks like a barn door, that shot. I'll have that.
I think you have that feeling more often than me, but yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's the wrong side, but it's probably
It's
far
taken
enough,
away the
isn't
hoop
it?
shot. And actually in the event,
Wow,
if
has
yellow
it?
had taken the... Oh, I think so.
What's
I
black
think so.
What else is black doing?
Black's got to force yellow to do something other than take tight position. There is not where... I don't think it's worth Dallas putting the ball there. Black has to have a hoop shot. If black goes wide from yellow, it's the sort of thing that at first glance looks attractive, but if black can't run the hoop, yellow's got no reason to do anything. Like it's not that useful. And yellow can remain wide from black, and then what does blue do? And it just gives time for red to come back in the
Well,
hoop.
yeah, the advantage that blue and black have got, they've got the balls much nearer the hoop at the moment because red's off on the far side of the lawn,
Yeah.
out of shot.
I think you're much better off putting black in position somewhere where, okay, yellow will hit it, but he's not hanging around. And then you feed him blue.
You've got to go quite deep though for that, haven't you?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much exactly where she wants to be.
I think that's only a 4-yard clearance.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Yellow will hit this. But is he hanging around afterwards? I don't
Depends
think
what
so.
you mean by hang around. He might not be in hoop running position, but he'll definitely be in clearing position. Ooh. He won't be happy with that.
No. And 4-3 down, that's not a good time for it. And this is belt and braces, is that a block?
No, I don't think. Maybe. Let's have a look. Where's red? That looks like it might be.
Even hoop 5's looking awkward, actually. Is this just stick a ball in and hope?
I think so. I mean, black's not a gimme.
No, and if red's in tight position, it gives black a sort of, maybe I should chicken out. It's a shot.
It looks good. Ooh, hard luck.
Good shot, but not great outcome. That's pretty unfortunate, because that can't have been far off black at all. This is for 5-3. And yellow's not in great position to be approaching. Bit of a let off.
Yellow's still got a long shot. Well, yellow's still got to hit blue though. That's what, 10 yards? Maybe a bit longer.
Maybe a bit further, but still, it's a better situation than the Aussies were in 2 minutes ago. Ah, great shot. Great shot.
Lovely shot.
So lost the yellow ball a little bit, but that doesn't matter. You know, you can't leave blue there.
So all the other games look like they're still on game 2.
Oh, that would have been a perfect time for a replay. But we're too late now. I'll try to, well, we'll try to be a bit more on point about that. So blue's actually, I don't know.
He does not look happy with that. Little shake of the head there. Oh,
Maybe I was
big
trying to
shake
go-
of the head there.
Maybe I was trying to go too tight, and in fact,
I think trying to get really tight if you're not right next to it is a bit risky on these lawns.
yeah. And there's a lot of lawn where red and wire blue.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
not
know if she's
wide, is
found
it?
it.
I don't think that's wide. Oh, I'm going down on the ground to check. They
The
all
thing is,
gonna
when blue is so close to the hoop,
So Ed only had a very quick look at that, so I imagine that's either obviously open or obviously closed. I don't
it's
think.
like Dallas is doing something about red, right?
No,
No, just position.
that looks like blue and red's probably open then.
Mm. And so now an important shot for Ed. Yellow. So panning out, and so Ed's towards corner 4, which is on the right hand side of the screen. Ooh. Close, but not quite. So yeah, I think he was forced into that clearance really, wasn't he?
So I think on lawn 1 we might have a Kiwi taking a shot for their first match.
Yeah, certainly looking that way. And she gets it.
And
Nice
she
one.
gets it. I think that's the first match of the Kiwis. We'll wait to check they don't go on again the lawn in 5 minutes. But yeah, they're shaking. They're
They're
shaking.
shaking
They're
hands.
shaking hands. So.
And anyway, back to the match we're watching. Good clearance by George. And now Wendy's shooting, well, a tea lady shot really. She's in just outside of corner 3 and she's shooting back towards hoop 8. Oh, that can't have been far off.
Oh dear.
Dallas.
Yeah, but if you're going to fail the hoop, that's an okay place to fail it.
You say that. Have you seen where yellow is?
Yeah. He's got to hit it though.
He's got to hit it, but
Yeah, anything on the right is quite juicy.
and that's a let off. That's a big let off, unfortunately.
Yeah, so the win on the other lawn was Helen and Edmund beating Fleur and Greg for the first New Zealand match win in Test 2 after having New Zealand narrowly won Test 1 this morning.
I think overall, though, the two teams are pretty well balanced, wouldn't you say?
They were, I mean, the results from the doubles yesterday, they were the scores were dead level at the end of the doubles at the end of day 1 yesterday. So I think we'd probably expect a similar result from this session
And
today.
I mean, just on the rankings, though, like if you go by the rankings, you'd say the New Zealand men probably have the edge, but then it's a bit difficult to sort of factor in Rob and Greg, who have played an awful lot of AC clearly, and not so much GC. So their rankings for GC, well, they're only based on a few games, so we don't know.
Yeah, and they both had good wins this morning.
Yeah.
So
and
yeah,
also
there's some discrepancy there. But then again, the New Zealand women have been playing
absolutely.
playing really well and looks well above grade from what we've been seeing here, I'd say.
Yeah, because you'd say that the Aussies have got the
really well
edge
this morning.
in the women's. But in fact, both teams seem evenly matched throughout, and that could be in part because there's a lot of doubles. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to tell, isn't it? I mean, we don't. The emphasis here really is on the doubles. I mean, two rounds of doubles each test and a round of singles. So the doubles counts for
half the games in total.
Half the games, yeah, half the points.
Oh, nice one. And you know, sometimes a good doubles relationship can be worth what, 300 grade points, as much as that, or at least a bad doubles relationship can be worth negative 300. I think it's probably more accurate.
That's probably more accurate. Yeah.
Anyway, we should talk about the game. Off you go.
But that yellow went a little bit further than I think he probably would have liked. Oh, that hilled, right?
You can't believe it.
Oh, wow. Red just plays into position.
Can we get a replay of that? Is that something we can do? That might be abusing the replay. So I don't know if that's a...
Yeah,
that
so
definitely swung.
Black's on the boundary, isn't it? So this is just red into position, and black's just got to clear red. I don't think blue can get a mallet to clear red here.
This is tricky because black's got to do...
Yeah, so here we've got a bit of a replay
Oh yeah, so
on that
watch
shot.
this.
See
I
how
reckon
much
this
they held.
swings.
Yeah, it looked like he was heading good, maybe foot out to the right.
Yep, and then...
It just rolls into the jaws of the hoop. It's pretty unlucky. Yeah, and body reaction there says that was...
No, it looked like he gave good clearance, but...
I think I'm going to bring another pair of socks tomorrow.
Top tip.
Yeah, it looks really nice and sunny here, but
you'll notice everyone's wearing coats. Oh dear. So actually, I don't know if the clearances are right. I mean, black's got a pretty tough decision. No,
okay, he's taking the clips off.
That's
That might just be precaution. He might just be playing the clearance and not want to.
Oh, I suppose actually the clearance here sends you off to 9, right?
Yeah, the clearance here sends you off to 9 if you get it right.
But I think if you want this hoop, you're better off just lagging to position and jumping later. Tell me this isn't a jump.
We've not seen many jumps. What was that? That wasn't a jump, was it?
I don't know.
Can we have a replay? Can we have a replay on that, please?
Like I said, we'll overuse and next we'll abuse. Oh. And unfortunately, I don't know whether that's gone through or not. I think it has.
Yellow's not in a great spot. It's forcing Wendy into the jump, I think, here.
And I think that's on the playing sign.
It's a great shot if it is.
So, as a quick rules interlude, you can only score a point if you run the hoop in the right direction. So each hoop at any given moment has got a playing side and a non-playing side. So blue went in backwards there. It's not a foul to do that, to run it backwards, but you don't score a point. And if you go through backwards, you have to finish going through backwards before you can run it the other way. And that's very important here because red's going to jump. And if red hits it through, ooh. Yeah, so if red had hit blue through there, then potentially, I mean, we couldn't quite tell, but potentially blue would have scored a point.
I think we might have on the far lawn Alison running hoop 12 for 7-5 in game 2. I think.
So that would be game and match, right?
That would be game and match if that is true.
She's
Let's see if they go and shake hands. Looks like
Handshakes
they
all
are.
round.
So a New Zealand win, quickly followed by an Australian win. So we are 1 match each in test 2.
And it looks like we chose the right lawn because it looks like this could be the deciding game for, well, the last game of this first session of this test.
Actually, just standing up and looking at blue from this angle, it doesn't
It's
look
been dug
anywhere.
out
It
of it
doesn't.
now.
It does. Yeah, it doesn't look anywhere near as nice, does it?
So actually, a series of shots has kind of worked out quite nicely for Australia because now yellow's got a big in off. Oh,
That's okay.
I don't think. Do you want to go for that hard?
No, but
Still, better position. Well, actually, I'm not sure it is a better position than what they were in a minute ago.
I think it is. It's blue in, red in, black in, yellow clears blue. 7-yard clearance for the hoop.
But rewind about what two shot rotations. When yellow went for that speculative jump / clearance,
Yeah, I think you've
if
still
yellow
got,
goes in position
I
there,
think you've still got to say that Australia are a favourite of this hoop now, though. Ooh, don't think
I don't know.
There's
There's a lot of blue. There's a lot of blue that if yellow hits, it'll take it straight into red here.
Yeah, no, red went a little bit too far already, didn't it?
But having said that, we've seen a little bit of I don't know, undulation around the area, and the last thing you want to do in this situation
is play a gentle shot.
play a gentle shot and just have nothing.
So,
And also, black's got to say as
Dallas
well.
is taking her time over this. Do you think she's going for red?
I like it. I like her going for red. I think this shot is decided by yellow's clearance on. Sorry, this hoop is decided by whether yellow hits blue well or not. And if black's in position and red just runs the hoop, what's she achieved? So I quite like this safety clearance. Oh, I bet she likes it too. That's a
Off
great
to the
shot.
next hoop as well.
And now Ed's not playing to win the hoop, he's playing to not lose it. And that means that he has to hang around. Before he could crack into blue. and so
Blue
long
is
as
not a gimme. That is not an easy hoop shot.
He's going for it though, isn't he?
Well, yeah,
Right.
we've seen him go for quite a few of these in similar. Ooh.
Right.
Okay, well.
Hoop draws or position, Rachel. Make your bet.
Oh, hoop, given where black is.
Oh yeah, too right actually.
Hoop, given where black is. If you run this, you're probably winning the game. I mean.
Yeah, I mean 5-3 up's good. It's not game over, but 5-3 up with the ball at the next hoop. Yeah.
Hard luck. I think he's just got to go for that at the pace that wins him the hoop, so I think that's okay. As long as he doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in clearing position, so that's fine.
Yeah, hopefully he won't let that get to him, because I think that was probably a
There's
good decision.
there's a ball behind the hoop. Putting a ball in the jaws is, I was going to say, could easily be cleared, but there's a bit of a hill there.
It's
so
a bit of a waste though. If you're going for the hoop precisely because you've got a ball at the next hoop, and then you go for the jaws.
But where's Wendy going to go?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's fine. I think on balance it was a good choice and an okay outcome. And actually, red escaped a little deep there.
I think that's okay. It forces him to question whether he's going to clear it or if he's just going to try and play a block instead.
I think it's gone past the questioning bit and just being like, okay, I just don't
You've got to
clear.
remember who's playing blue, though.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a bit far. I don't think blue will be clearing red.
No. The jump clearance doesn't look too appealing, you're right. Yellows.
That one
much
does, though.
nicer.
Yeah, nice
Good shot.
clearance.
Good shot.
And then Wendy, sorry, you've got no choice but to run the hoop.
Yeah, I think blues.
But you know what happened what happened last time she was backed into a corner? She ran a fabulous hoop 5. So
I don't think this is so obviously a corner though. She could be looking at blues thinking, if I sent a ball out.
she's not looked at it. She's
Okay.
looking at the hoop.
Ooh, nice.
I'd be happy with that.
That is
Back in it, I think.
yeah. I mean, they're celebrating, so and I think they're right to. I mean,
So the question is, we saw George go for the jump at hoop 9. Do you think he'll be going for that jump with blue at hoop 8?
oh, you've got to ask permission from your partner first before you do that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's definitely a make or
And
break
it's
doubles decision, isn't it?
Like we're talking about the negative 300 index points. That if you've got a bad relationship, if I don't know, if my partner walked up and jumped with blue and just Rushfield red, I'd be furious. No, I think.
Will top tip doubles partnerships number 2.
Yeah. Don't annoy your partner by rush feeding partner balls. Lesson Rachel's learnt the hard way, actually.
Anyway. So what was Black's shot?
Black played what I think was actually a mistake. Black played behind the hoop, presumably to stop red playing silly buggers and tapping it.
But
But
now red just trundled into the back of black, right?
I think black went just about far enough that that's not an option. But it's
I
going to
don't-
be
I
there on the
think- I
backswing.
think
That's
you
a
can.
huge error.
I think you can hamper that quite easily.
I think black's approach to...
Are you playing this
9.
jump? Oh, I don't like this.
Oh, this is a...
I don't like this. This is a 5-yard jump. Yeah, it's 5-yard
This
jump.
is
Probably what, 15 degrees?
Oh,
And
dear.
that's why you don't jump at even hoops from 5 yards.
And to be honest, if you're going to do that jump, why is black there? That's...
Yeah, that's.
I'm sorry to say, but...
Can we?
Can we get a... would it be possible to get a replay of that?
I think that's a game-changing shot.
I think it's a game-losing shot.
Yeah.
'Cause
I agree with that. It looked like they did have a discussion about it before he took it on, though.
but they were two really
But they were
risky
four.
shots.
They were 4-3 up. He could have just played halfway with black and just played halfway with blue, or
They were two shots which... I don't know, tactically...
I didn't like. We didn't like
Didn't
either of
like
them, did we?
I mean, I can sort of see the merit behind stopping red tapping and, setting up, I don't know, a flick off to the next hoop. But the trade-off is that you might end up hampered. And now it's 4-all.
And they've conceded first approach to 9, which they've sort of wasted.
You say that, but...
Red's over approach. Yellow's really nice and tight, though.
Yeah, yellow's very good. And compared to the alternative, it's still way better.
So blue's just playing in, I think.
Yeah.
We might come back to it at the end of the match. Is that okay?
So blue took on a shot at yellow there, which